Welcome to the replay, everybody. It has been quite a morning, as you can see, based on the hair and the outfit, but coming in on time to talk about my favorite. Let me just grab my little title. My favorite tech tools. Now, my favorite tech tools as they apply to organizing, because I have a lot of favorite tech tools, but these are all the tools that I use personally to run my home, life, and business. So let's see. There is someone watching. I'm going to go make sure I get back into comments before I start talking. Actually, no, so I got to switch back. Good morning, Adam. Adam is the tech guy, so he'll probably have some things that he probably uses to organize himself as well. So again, today I'm talking about what I personally use. Like I said, there's a million things out there, but the first thing I'm going to talk about is cozy.com. I started using cozy.com many, many years ago when I still had a business, but I was running more personal stuff. And so for me, it made sense to have something that was really appropriate for families. But as my business grew, I found out it still really works well for me to have everybody all in one spot and to also be able to integrate my other calendars in there. So cozy.com is like a family-based calendar. What I love the layout. Google Calendar has never really been intuitive for me as far as looking at it. I don't love the look of it, but I will talk about that in a second. So when I found Cozy, it was great. And like I said, I've been using it for years. I love the app. I just have the free version. I don't use the paid version. And having the app with me at all times really helps. And what I do is I do use two other calendars. I use Acuity Scheduling, which is more of a scheduling app, but it's also the calendar of my business. So anytime a client wants to schedule a call with me, they can go right into my link for Acuity Scheduling, and they can pick their own appointment, book everything, and be done. And what happens is I need that to actually get into my Cozy because I need to be able to see them together. Unfortunately, those two calendars don't speak to each other. Now, I could probably do some, using, and I'll talk about Zapier later, but I could probably use Zapier or Zapier, however people pronounce it, to make them talk to each other. But what I do is I found a trick, and I set this up once, and I don't have to do it anymore. What I do is I have it run through Google Calendar. So, like I said, I don't love using Google Calendar, but I do have it set. I do have Google Calendar. I think if you have a Gmail, you do. And what I love is, so anytime somebody books an appointment through my business, it goes into Google Calendar, and then Cozy and Google do talk to each other. All it is a mirror appointment. So what happens is somebody books with Acuity, it goes into my Google Calendar, and then that shows up in Cozy. I can't edit it in Cozy, but I can at least see it so that I know when I'm going to book a personal appointment or if I'm booking any other appointments, it's all in one calendar. I don't have to search. I don't have to look in Acuity, and I don't have to look in Google Calendar. It's all in Cozy. I can see everything that I'm doing. And that way too, anytime say I'm going to be on somebody's podcast and they send me a Google invite. That Google invite, again, once I accept it and it's on my Google Calendar, even though I'm not looking at my Google Calendar, it's sort of just a repository. It then goes into my cozy.com. So that's what I do for calendars. I would love, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, I should probably go back into comments and make sure there aren't any. I would love to hear what you use for calendars and, what works for you, because that will help anybody watching this to see other things, because just because these things work for me doesn't necessarily going to mean they work for you. But that's what I love. I love my little setup. Like I said, I set it up once so that Acuity would talk to Google and Google would talk to Cozy. And that way, Google is kind of like my little, little hub that pushes everything together. But again, I'm only looking at my Cozy calendar when I'm going to do things. So the next thing I'll talk about is Evernote. I love Evernote. I don't probably use it like some people do, but I love that there's a Google extension where I can clip any articles that I want to get into there. So what I use Evernote for is really just gathering information. information from the internet or information that I basically internet. It's been a morning. I haven't had enough coffee yet. And what I will also do is, and I didn't bring my Rocketbook down. I should do a whole nother thing on the Rocketbook. When I'm taking notes at a conference, or if I'm watching a webinar, I'm taking notes, I'll use a product called the Rocketbook, which you can then take a scan of, and it will automatically go wherever you want to send it. And Evernote is one of the places that I send those notes to. So I'm not, I was a bigger user of Evernote back when I was collecting a lot of business cards. So that's really how I got into it, because it talks with LinkedIn, and I love that. But for now, really, I just use it as a data collection point. So as far as doing files and creating things, I use Google Drive. So I use Google Sheets, Google Docs, and all of that. I use the whole suite. And that is where I will create whatever I need to create. I've stopped creating documents on my computer because, I used to have an automatic backup system. I don't right at the moment. So for now, to ensure that I'm not losing anything, I create stuff in Google. And then the third thing for that, Dropbox. I use Dropbox, not often. I do use it. I tend to put things that are more sensitive in Dropbox. So if I have a document that I need to save and I want to have an extra copy, I'll put them in Dropbox. I don't put everything in there. Most of my stuff is kept in Google Drive. So anytime I download like a PDF from somebody, if it's an information sheet on a class I'm taking, that all goes into Google Drive. But if I had an important document that I wanted to make sure I'm saving it, it's not just on my computer, it'll be in Dropbox. And then we get into project management. I have a comment, I'm gonna go quickly read it. Use Google. Yeah, a lot of people do, and a lot of people love Google. And I obviously love it for the way I use it. But for some reason, it just never clicked with me as far as using it constantly. And maybe, and honestly, to be honest, I looked at it years ago and it could be different. I know you can color code, which is what I loved about Cozy. So you can do that in Google as well. And that is awesome, because color coding is really helpful if you're a visual person and you need to see what's going on. I'm laughing because I had blood drawn this morning. And just for, routine checkup. And I'm like, oh, I fasted and I'm kind of woo-woo. I've been using Apple Notes more. I use those. I tend to, when I'm making a quick note, I will pop it in Notes, but I use a lot of Apple. I use the voice recorder. I record my voice when I'm doing that, because I'm usually thinking of stuff on the fly and trying to type. You can't really do that. Team members, yeah, that is good. And AirDrop is everything, right? Definitely everything. Okay, so we move on to, where am I? I'm talking about my tech tools and I'm trying to work my tech here. Okay, so now we'll talk about project management. I love Trello. I've been using Trello for a long time, and I also love Asana. So those two they're different. There are some similarities, but really they're both made for project management. And what I was doing is using Trello for personal stuff and Asana for business. I would do some stuff with my business in Trello because I have, and I talked about Zapier. I don't have a little thing to put up there, but I'll type all this stuff in there. Whenever somebody books an appointment with me through a new appointment with me through my Acuity, it automatically would set up a Trello board for them so that I could keep track of notes in there for them, which I love. So I was using that in that way at one point, but, and I would use Asana when I'm doing like full-on project management for, say, an upcoming launch. I need to have all of the information about, all the graphics, when I need to be releasing stuff. I have to make the whole checklist of, I've got everything in order for when I'm ready to release a product. I recently discovered ClickUp, and actually I was just in there right now trying to upgrade. Apparently they had a Cyber Monday sale, and because I avoid all things Black Friday and Cyber Monday, I missed it. But I use the free version right now, and I am not sure if I'm going to upgrade, but ClickUp is amazing. It's almost, I'm going to give Evie, Yvonne Hyman, a little shout out here, and I'll put that in there. I watched a video of hers, and she basically described it as if Asana and Trello had a baby, it would be ClickUp. So it is really cool because you can still view things. So Trello, for those of you not familiar, is more like a Kanban board. So it's like, just you've got everything laid out visually. You can do some of that in Asana, but it never really looked as great. But as far as the tasks go, I never liked to use Trello for kind of project management. It just didn't work for me for tasks. So Asana was great for that. ClickUp is the bomb for both. So I'm in the process of setting that all up. So I'm going to do a whole thing on ClickUp once I understand how exactly the ins and outs work. I'm going to read Adam. That's funny, right? So Adam says Trello. I'm going to put that up because you are, I think you're in it. Yeah. So Adam says Trello is too busy for me and distracting. And in the way you're using it, and you find Slack is a good app. Now, see, that's funny. This is how our brains work differently. Trello, to me, is very clean. But that said, I'm not using it for project management. So yes, once you click into the cards, my brain doesn't really process those well. And Slack, I tried to use Slack, and to me, it was busy, right? So, for you, that it must just be the way your brain is looking at things. Because again, you like Google Calendar. I didn't like it at the point. So it is interesting how different things work for different people. And I think I have a whole list of things that other people have shared with me that I'll put out there. But I appreciate you sharing that, Adam, because it proves my point that, just because something works for one person doesn't mean it's going to work for another. I don't know if you do project management, but ClickUp is amazing if you want to check that out. And I'm sad that I missed that little Cyber Monday deal, although I don't know if I need the level. So when I use project management, it's just me. I'm managing projects with team members. So for me, I may never need the paid version of ClickUp. I may just be able to, work with what I'm doing in the free version, because it's, like I said, it's just me. But the important thing is, even though it's just me, it's good to have this stuff digitally, because it will help if something, if I can't work for a number of days or something and I need somebody to do something, I can send them right in there and they'll be able to understand everything that's going on. So I'm in the process of setting that all up. So we will see. But yeah, so that's essentially, those are what I use. I don't like to use a ton of tools. I try to keep it simple, because even doing that Google thing, I was like, ooh, do I really want to do this? It seems convoluted, but it really isn't, because once I set it up once, it's there and it all flows through. And then again, I'll just mention, I'll put in here so you can see the name of it for those who have no idea what I'm talking about. Most people wouldn't use Zapier unless they have a business. And show it. So this allows you to have your different systems talk to each other. So I have, and actually I'm trying to think if I have it set up. No, I don't. I don't have any set up through my business through Kajabi, but I could do different things. So basically I could say, somebody purchases my program, and then I want them to get access to another thing. That really was very vague, wasn't it? It's been one of those days. And I was going to share this one everywhere, and I'm like, it's crazy. Yes, I absolutely love it. I stayed away from the cloud for so long, a lot of tools, because I was so afraid of losing things. And, I just had to let go of that. And that brings me to photo organization. I'm still not there with that. All of my photos that I take are on my computer, and then they're backed up to a hard drive. I don't have any of them backed up in the cloud. Not that, I could, as long as I know they're on my computer and backed up, I could have a third backup, but I would never just have my photos there. I don't know, something about that. It's just personally, I was like, oh, if I lost them all. But I know, I know some people, like photographers, they even just loving Google for that, Google storage, Google Photos. But yes, I agree. It is the beauty of the cloud, because it's easy to share things and know where everything is. So yeah, so if you don't have a business and you're looking for a good calendar, an electronic calendar, because that was the other thing. When I switched to Cozy, I was pen and paper calendar. I could not do an electronic calendar to save me. So what I love about Cozy is the way it prints out. It prints out a nice size, really clear calendar. So I actually still print it out and work with it, and then input everything into the site. And that way, when I'm out and about, I can enter. I don't have to carry a paper calendar. I can enter appointments. I can see what I have, but I also have the ability to print it out nicely. And I know you can do that with Google too. But it took me a long time to switch to an all electronic calendar. Although, really, I shouldn't say that because I have a little calendar book that I like to write in. Cough. Can I mute myself? Excuse me. Oh, it's coming. The coffee. And again, I'm going to write down the Rocketbook thing. I'm going to write that down, make sure I put a link to that. I absolutely love the Rocketbook, and let me describe it for a second. I'll put the name of it in there. But daily to-do list on whiteboard and paper notebooks. I love that. That is like a dream for me because it's so visual. It's in your face, because a lot of times if something's on a to-do list in my computer, I'm not going to look at it. But that's why I'm very excited about ClickUp, because if I can just have one thing set up on my computer and I can see it at every moment, I will look at it. Let me just, what did I say I was going to put in there? Rocketbook. So the Rocketbook, and I think it's getrocketbook.com, but again, I'll add all these links. The Rocketbook is actually a reusable notebook. I still have the old one. They've upgraded since then. I have the one that you put in the microwave to erase, but they have one now that you can erase with just the damp cloth. It basically uses the Friction, is that how you say it? Friction pens that are resistant to temperatures. So what happens is when you write on the notebook, everything stays, and then the second you heat it up, which is how it used to be, you heat it up, you put it in the microwave, it would erase it and you could reuse it. Now, like I said, they have one that you just wipe off with a damp cloth. But and the cool thing about it is, actually, if you have kids, it's really cool because you can do secret messages. You can heat it up, and then if they want to read the messages, if they put it in the freezer, it'll come back because the cold brings the pen back. So that's a little trick for people with kids. Anybody's watching that, it could be fun. But the Rocketbook is awesome because if you're a person that loves to use pen and paper, but you love digital, and you don't want to take all your notes in pen and paper and then type them up, you can actually just take the scan of it and put it to you can put it anywhere you want it to go. You can go to Evernote, you can go to Dropbox, go to Gmail, go anywhere you want it to go. As long as it's a site, it'll upload it to there. So it's just all done through an app on the phone. So that's everything I have for today. I'm going to go back to the comments. Again, thank you so much, Adam, for joining and sharing what you do, because that's awesome. I'm going to throw this link up at the end. So I just want to put something up for you guys. And this really isn't, did I put it up? Oh, I put it in the comments. Hold on. Oh, it's my last days. What do I do with it? Oh, hold on 1 minute. Let me create it. There we go. Add the banner. Show it. There we go. Okay. So what this is, this little DYD waitlist. So I've been mentioning this all along. I'm revamping my paper and digital program, which is what I talk about a lot of this stuff, not necessarily in the program, but in the coaching piece of the program. So I've been redoing that program, and I'm going to be releasing it soon. But this little wait list will show that I'm releasing the program with coaching. But what I'm really doing is I'm going to be releasing a group coaching program that's going to give you access to my paper and digital organization course. And actually, it'll give you access to all of my courses. So it's going to be a whole 6 months of group coaching. So if you've ever wanted to do organizing and it's been a little bit too out of your budget and you're looking into, you definitely want to do something, especially virtually, group coaching is a great way to go. And that link right there will simply put you on the wait list. It does not, it doesn't hold you to anything. It's so that I can have a clean list of people who are interested in hearing about the information when I send it out. So it'll just keep you in the loop. It doesn't make you buy anything. Thank you so much, Adam. I have my coffee and my little coffee mug from Chelsea. I never met a carbohydrate that I didn't like. So I've got my coffee. I'm going to finish that. Probably should not have blood work done in the morning before you go live. But it's all good. Anyways, it just shows you that, even me organized can be all over the place. But I hope you have a wonderful day. I just want to pop this last thing back up before I say goodbye, because I'm always having to change the, what do you call it? Change the screenshot, and then I have to smile and say goodbye. Have an awesome day. Thanks again for joining.